So before we begin with today's video, my apologies for the noise, background noise that is going on. There is some construction going on, so can't do much about it. I know it's annoying, okay, but anyways, we'll try to focus on what we are going to discuss in today's video. See, if you are on my channel, that means you are a high achiever, and if you are a high achiever, there are maximum chances that you have a set of goals for your life, okay? Most of them, and at one point of time, including myself, we used to make mistakes while setting goals. We don't know how to set goals only. I want you to listen to what I'm going to say next to see if you are making those same mistakes, okay? Let's bulletproof your goals. Let's begin. Now, the first thing to remember is a goal can never be a checklist. It is not something that you just tick off, and this is the mistake that I also have done in the past, and sometimes even now I see. Goals have tasks under it, and that can be a checklist. A goal can never be a checklist, and I'll tell you why. When you set a goal, say suppose the first thing that comes to my mind is losing weight, okay, lose weight. In that process, in that journey, you learn so many things. It is not just one thing that you are going around. It is not just one task. So many aspects of your personality that you will touch upon when you try to start with this. Never keep a goal as a checklist. Then how do you measure it? If you want to know how to measure it, have progress bars. This I learned from the planner that I use. More on that on some other video. I'll show you how I put my weekly goals, and it is a progress bar. This is how I set my weekly targets, and ignore what is rest on the board. Let's have a holistic way of setting goals rather than a cutthroat competition or cutthroat way of looking at things. We are a whole individual, okay? It's not in bits and pieces. And when you start with something, there are so many things that happen to you. There are so many changes that goes on in your head when you start something new. And even if it is not something new, if you are repeating it or doing something again, what you are first and what you are last, they are totally different. Even if you are not able to achieve it, what you are first and what you are 2 days into the goal, these two personalities are completely different. Your perception shifts, your consciousness shifts. Yearly goals you can set, but there are some things that I've noticed when it comes to any kind of yearly goal. How do you know that whatever goal you set at the start of the year, you are going to follow it till December? How do you know that? Because what happens is in November or December of the previous year, we are just setting the goals based on thinking. It's not based on action. The action starts in January. If your intention is to start taking action on the goal from January. So this video is for those people who start their action from January. How do you know that you will not be disinterested later? How do you know that this is what you want? For the past 2 years I've been doing this. I may have an intention of a yearly goal. Okay, this year I want to do this, but the actions are based for a 90-day period. So even I encourage you to start setting goals, even if they are from January. Set them from January to March. Review the progress at the end of March, how it goes, how it's working, what are the different actions to be taken, and then based on that set your next quarterly goals. Which brings me to the next point. We are not reviewing our week, we are not reviewing our month. I've spoken about quarterly reviews, but even that some people don't do. They just set the goals and keep going on. How do you know if the actions are working for you? How do you know if you have to change anything? How do you know if there is something that you need to do? Even for this channel, the background, the sound quality, if you see 2 years back, it will be completely different. Now it's completely different because I make it a point to review what things are working, what things are not working, taking whatever feedback into consideration, compliments, comments, criticism, whatever is there as per my understanding. now you see the way I'm speaking, the way I'm telling you, it's totally different from the way I used to do it earlier. There is still a lot to do and a lot of things to experience, but whatever you see now is a product of the reviews that have been done. January 1st is not a liberation day. In fact, I always feel that January 1st carries that pressure of doing something new, achieving something. Why can't you start in December? I call it something called as conditioning your goals. You start with some action in November, December. So you start building the momentum and intensity, and it doesn't feel like overwhelm on January 1st. Okay, this is something that I used to do earlier. I stopped it later, but now I'm going to continue it. Even for vacations, I feel we tend to go on vacations in December and May, isn't it? In May it's too hot, in December it's too cold. So we have been conditioned to do all these things in specific months just because the entire population or people are doing that. You need not follow the suit. You can choose whatever timeline it is, and even if it is next year, little bit of the action you can start from November, December. Another thing everyone does is perfectionism, okay, and this I've studied and spoken about much extensively in the previous videos of my channel. You take whichever one, this point is always there. When you say 100% consistency, if you have never done anything like that before, how do you expect yourself to maintain 100% consistency? So expecting flaws, there is no room for contingency, right? Like whenever people plan their day, or whenever for planning weeks, people don't keep any room for contingency. They just block their schedule. How do you know there will be no emergency? How do you know that you won't have something coming in between? Because it is life. It is not just your plan, okay? It is life. Life comes above any plan. Even if you fall back, or even if you fall outside your perfect regimen, it is okay to step back. If you don't have grace for yourself, if you don't have sympathy for yourself, how do you expect the world to have respect and sympathy for you? We set goals like wellness. What is wellness? Wellness has emotional health, it has your physical health, it has your spiritual and metaphysical health. When you say your goal for 2023 is wellness, what is wellness for you? So what is wellness for me may be completely different from what is wellness for you. So under wellness, what aspect are you going to set for yourself? Okay, like for this year, for the previous year, I'm still in 2022. My major focus was to get my mental health on track, and I feel I have gained much clarity on that by December. When you start something new, we try to write the plan from A to Z. But when you are a complete beginner, when your mindset is at the level of A, how do you know what is Z? So what I mean by that is, it is stupid to chalk out complete plan. Nobody can know entire thing first few steps, and then take it from there. You need not know everything in order to achieve any goal. When I started preparing for that, I just focused on first few things, that whatever my instructors were telling me or whatever feedback I was getting, and I focused on that, and I was able to complete. You are too focused on your goal rather than systems. You want to lose weight, but you don't know how you are going to schedule a workout. You want to gain good grades, but you don't know how you are able to stay away from distractions. Then your goal is just an idea, okay? And idea without execution means nothing. If you are starting with something, then as a daily practice, you will do this at this time of the day, maybe 3 times in a week, maybe 4 times, or maybe even 2 times if you are starting out, and follow through, okay? You don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. Say suppose you are like me, who gets overwhelmed easily, who gets anxious easily. Then for you to start something and take it to 100% in the first go. That could be quite difficult, okay? Because I find it difficult, and if you are like me, then chances are you may also find it slightly challenging. If your personality aligns to a slow progress, then aligning to that is quite important, because we feel slow progress is no progress. It is not like that. Slow progress is progress. Anything in forward direction is a progress. Then when you gain momentum, you can increase your efforts, you can do it very fast, because now you have got used to the routine. This is a very interesting insight that I got while setting my own goals related to fitness. And this year I had one particular goal that I was struggling with to achieve in the past years, that was of losing weight. I just used to keep chalking out the actions, do it, sometimes used to fail, sometimes used to succeed, but it was never foolproof. Then this year what I did was, instead of saying lose weight, I said gain energy. These things may look similar, but the way it works on your psyche is totally different. So when you say gain energy, your direction is quite positive. Your outlook is more positive and you are less stressed about losing weight. And honestly, that is the time when I lost weight and I came to my set desired weight that I always wanted. We have covered 10 tips, and there is something that I want to tell you. How much ever you set goals and everything you do right, one thing we should not avoid is looking at goals daily. So when I have my weekly goals or when I have yearly goals, if I don't look at them daily, whatever time it is, whether it is for 1 minute or even for 10-20 seconds, if I don't look at it, then you lose track with that energy source that you have created. Always make sure that you have it somewhere written down, maybe in your mobile or some other device, maybe on whiteboard as I write it, or on notebook. There is a saying, out of sight, out of mind. Making sure that you are in touch with your higher self is important. I hope you found something new in today's video. There were a lot of videos floating around on the internet about resolutions and everything, and I didn't really connect with it. Instead, I chose to do this one. So you let me know what are your resolutions. Till the next time.